Are you going in an RV this summer to Canada? Would you like some tips on how to book your campgrounds? Then follow me for more. I've got lots of information on this video, and obviously I'll ask any questions in the comments. Thanks so much. We went to Canada in 2023. We started off in Vancouver, went over to Vancouver Island, and then we went over to the Canadian Rockies. And these are the tips I picked up to book your campgrounds. So number one, plan ahead. Canada is super busy in the summer, the weather is nice, and everyone, including locals, want to take their RVs camping to the best spot by the lake. So if you go on the website, use the government websites to book your campgrounds. These are so much cheaper. They've got really decent prices. Compared to the private campgrounds, they're like $60 to $80, where the government ones are about $18 to $20. They all provide a fire pit and a picnic table. Some even have, all have toilets of some kind. Some have pit toilets, others have flush toilets, and some have showers. These will all show on the information on the campground on the website, okay? So have a look. I'm putting some things in the background so you can see. So I use BC Parks, Parks Canada and Alberta Parks for our trip to Vancouver, Vancouver Island and the Rockies. Obviously, Vancouver and Vancouver Island are in British Columbia, and then the Canadian Rockies are in Alberta. All right, so these were perfectly adequate for our needs, and I loved the lakeside river and mountain views each day. They were just absolutely stunning. So to get these spots that you want, the booking system's all open at different times, but with BC Parks, I think you can book 90 days in advance. So you need to be on the website and ready to book as soon as it opens if you want the best spaces. I got really confused with all this and messed up my first one, which I was devastated about, but hey ho, I got the rest of them sorted. So the pictures are all shown on the maps on the website, and most have photos. So I'm just putting that in the background so you can see. For example, when we stayed at Osoyoos, I'm not really sure if I've said that right, I picked a lovely lake access spot, and these were gone within minutes of the booking opening, so we were really, really lucky. And as you can see by the pictures above, it's just a stunning view. So Parks Canada opens on specific days for the different specific campgrounds. So check their website way, way in advance to find that out. I would consider planning a year ahead for this and, checking out everything that you need to do on certain dates. It's super easy to have a look at all these campgrounds on the website. They all have a map, so you can see roughly where your space is, which way it's facing. I used these websites and I booked a 28-night Canada trip with our massive RV, 32 foot. Do your research for other parts of Canada, obviously, because I didn't do those, but they're all very similar, and I'm sure they all have government websites. Now, it doesn't mean you won't get a campsite if you don't book early, but if you won't get a good one. I wanted a spot at the beautiful Portail Cove, which is just coming out of Vancouver up to Whistler there, and I missed it within seconds. And I checked every few days until our trip began, and there were never any empty spots available. So do be warned. The popular ones will go. Sometimes your plans may have to change due to, things that aren't under your control, such as flooding or sadly a wildfire. But do go back onto the website and search for campgrounds in your vicinity, and hopefully you'll find one. We managed to get one when we were meant to be going to Tofino, but unfortunately they had a wildfire that closed the road, and we ended up in Elk Falls campground instead, and that was beautiful. Went for a walk to the falls and things like that. Obviously, we were only going to Canada once in our lifetime, so it was a bit devastating not to see Tofino and the tall trees, but never mind. Some campgrounds will give you free firewood, others you can buy on site, and some you have to bring with you, but do check for any fire bans. These can be commonplace. We had one for a week in British Columbia whilst we were there. What else can I think of? So if you go to Banff, do book these up early, because they will go really quickly, okay? And also do keep out your IFO airs. It's not unknown for them to wander into camp. We were lucky we didn't see any in a campground, but we did see plenty of elk. They do roam around. It's quite cute, actually. We did see a baby one too. Another note, please cancel your campground if you're not intending to use it. Even if it's late in the day, then someone else can. And especially if there's wildfires and things like that, you're giving that spot up. The ones we had booked in Tofino were just right on the seafront and were stunning, and I cancelled them straight away because I knew we weren't going to get there, so at least someone else could use it. And yeah, we had such a massive, amazing time in Canada. If you want any questions answered, things I've forgotten to say, please do let me know, and I'll think of some other things to add to my TikTok as time goes on. And also, I would advise to be prepared for snow, because when you're high up in the mountains from Banff to Jasper, it can apparently snow in June. We actually drove from Banff along the Icefields Parkway towards Jasper. Luckily, we had a campground booked halfway. We stopped at Peyto Lake and it was absolutely thick with snow. We couldn't even see the lake. It was stunning, like a winter wonderland. And then obviously when we went to Jasper, the snow was starting to melt, but they'd lost lots of trees and they'd had quite a few floods and things like that. It was quite awful, bless. As said, plans changed. We didn't get to do the Malign Lake cruise because of that, but we did actually manage to go along the road and see some bears, so that was really cool as well. So yeah, just plan ahead, have some emergencies backed up. There are plenty of free parking spaces as well. You don't have to plan to book somewhere, but obviously if you want a hassle-free trip, then I would book. At least you can cancel if you find a nice free one somewhere. You can use iOverlander for things like that. While I was there, I did use an eSIM. I wasn't sure. It was quite expensive for data in Canada, so I've got a link to my Airlo at the bottom of this video, so you can have a look at that. You get some discount. I think it's $3 off. But yeah, go ahead, guys. I hope you have an amazing adventure in Canada like we did.